Good evening, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Council of the City of Long Beach, held Tuesday, November 21st, 2023 at 7 p.m. We'll have a roll call. Councilmember Postoli.
Here.
Councilmember Lester.
Here.
Councilmember McGinnis.
Present.
Vice President Treston.
Here.
President Bendo.
Present.
Let the record indicate the presence of Acting City Manager Ron Walsh and Corporation Counsel Dennis Cohen. We'll now have a salute to the flag.
Councilwoman Postoli, would you lead us?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our second meeting of November, and we will move on to the city manager's report.
Good evening, everybody. A couple of things on the city manager's report today. I'd like to inform everybody that the city just received a nice little grant from the New York State Empire Development Corporation. It's for about $70,000. Actually, it is for $70,000 to do a parking study in the city. There were only two grants, actually, in this entire region that were awarded, a total of $100,000. Another community got $30,000, and we got $70,000 to actually do a study. And this is really tied to the downtown areas to try and spur on economic development and things of that nature. We're also we applied to the federal government for an SS4 Safe Streets grant in the amount of $240,000, which we should know about before the end of the year, whether or not we received that money. But that's really that we wanted to apply to try and do a comprehensive traffic study in the city, because as we all know, parking is very difficult here. So is traffic and the movement of people, the movement of cars, the movement of pedestrians and bicycles. It gets complicated, and when you do something in one area, there are unintended consequences that sometimes you don't see. So really getting experts in here to really take a look and marrying these two things together to try and come up with a comprehensive plan on how to actually most efficiently move traffic and people through the city is really something that we're trying to accomplish there. This Saturday is Small Business Saturday, actually, and we're asking our residents to patronize local businesses in the area. Studies have shown that actual small businesses generate up to 70% more local economic development activity as opposed to when you actually shop at a big box store. So, our small businesses here in town are owned by local people. There are residents and neighbors. They actually hire many local residents. They reinvest in our community, and they actually help to define what our local community looks like. So I'd like to encourage everybody to patronize our local businesses this Saturday. On Friday, December 1st, we have the Christmas tree lighting out in Kennedy Plaza. I encourage everybody to come, show up. We have hot chocolate and cookies and candy canes, and your kids can send a letter to Santa Claus and hear our local high school band play some Christmas music, and there'll be a special appearance by Santa Claus for the little ones as well. So we also, as part of the city, would like to thank Bethpage Federal Credit Union for actually sponsoring the event and making the refreshments and offsetting some of the costs to the city. So that's basically the city manager's report. Oh, there's one other thing. Next meeting, prior to the start of our next council meeting, we're going to have a presentation by NV5, which is our consultants for some of the road work and some of the projects that you're going to see in downtown. So this is our resilient connectivity plan for Park Avenue Phase 2. I know Joe Fabrizio and that team will be doing a presentation to talk about the improvements on Park Avenue from Long Beach to Riverside Boulevard. So they're going to be putting in a sidewalk replacement, some brick pavers, some benches, some tree plantings, new bicycle racks, and new colonial street lighting. So that presentation will be before the next council meeting. And that concludes the city manager's report.
Okay. Let's move on to the agenda.
Okay. And as a reminder, folks, item 6 has been taken off the calendar. So our first item this evening is a public hearing for a resolution granting waiver of off-street parking requirements for premise 136 East Park Avenue, second floor.
Okay, we'll open the public hearing on that. And are the business owners present? Going once, going twice? Okay.
All right, we'll circle back to that one.
We'll circle
We'll
back
jump
and
to the
see if
second one, which is a public hearing for, again, a resolution granting waiver of off-street parking requirements for premise 806 West Beach Street. And I believe the proprietors are here.
Okay, and we'll open the hearing on that, and come on up. Great.
Hi,
Could you just introduce yourself, please?
I'm Mindy Derry.
Hi. Okay, could you tell us a little bit about the business?
Basically, we'll be doing healthcare staffing, RNs, LPNs, and CNAs during the day, and we will be offering tutoring and SAT prep from like 4 to 6 in the evenings.
I'm sorry, what was the first part?
We do medical staffing,
Okay.
so we do RNs, LPNs, CNAs.
Thank you.
And then SAT prep? Okay.
Yeah, I know, too, because we staff the schools,
Multifaceted.
so we do nurses and tutors in the schools. It didn't make any sense not to offer it in an office for the local kids.
Okay.
Okay, and those in the audience, just, this is located in the old vet office on West Beach Street, just off of New York Avenue. So, and how many employees you expect?
Right now, we have 3. We're possibly going to hire a 4th person.
Okay, so I'm assuming you don't have customers coming in for the staffing?
No,
but-
everything, all of our staffing has been, since COVID, we've kind of made it all virtual. So I don't think we've had a nurse in our office in quite a few years.
Okay, so for the SAT prep, is that going to be done in the office, or?
We will have some of that, yes. A lot of that will, most of what we've been doing has been virtual, but we will have a space available if that's, some students need that. They need that face-to-face, and they needed a quiet space.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions from the council members? All right, any questions from the public? All right, seeing none, I'll close the hearing, and why don't we go ahead and vote now?
Okay. Okay, voting on agenda item number 2, which is a resolution granting waiver of off-street parking requirements for premise 806 West Beach Street, street floor. Would you just move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second?
I will.
Voting, Councilmember Apostoli.
Yes, and welcome.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember McGinnis.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Congratulations, yes.
Thank you.
President Bendo.
Good luck? Yes.
Thank you so much. We look forward to serving you all.
Okay, have a great night.
Okay. We'll circle back to the first public hearing at the end of the agenda to see if the business owner shows up. So on to the rest of the regular calendar, on to item number 3, which is a resolution authorizing transfer of funds for the 23-24 fiscal year.
So this particular item is really a housekeeping item. We have somebody who is being paid out of the comptroller's office who actually is the director of transportation as well as fleet service manager. So it just basically puts the funds in the right line for the payment of those salaries, that salary.
Okay, any questions from the council? Any from the public? All right, on to item 4.
Item 4 is also a resolution authorizing transfer of funds for the 23-24 fiscal year.
So this one is a similar item, but this one takes temporary salaries and puts them into regular salaries. There was a hiring of a full-time employee, and this covers those salaries and also eliminates the need for part-timers going forward.
All right, any questions from the council? Any from the public? All right, seeing none, on to item 5.
Item 5 is a resolution authorizing budget amendment to the capital projects fund budget.
This particular item is basically a progress payment in the, for the critical infrastructure project on the North Shore. So basically, the monies go in and out of this account very quickly. The money comes from the feds, we get it, we put it in, and it goes over to the county. This is going to happen from time to time throughout.
Any questions from the council? All right, any from the public? right, on to item 6.
Item 6 has been taken off the calendar.
Oh,
Item 7 is a resolution authorizing the acting city manager to purchase a 2023 Chevrolet Trailblazer Sport utility vehicle for the sewer maintenance department.
So this particular item is to replace a van that the sewer treatment plant had, sewer maintenance. The van is no longer in service, or it's dead, and it needs to be replaced. They are in the process now borrowing vehicles and stuff like that to do their job. It's very, very inefficient. So this one vehicle will be actually the replacement for that, and it's more suited to what they do.
all right, any questions from the council?
No, that was explained very well, thank you.
Run. So that means we're going to get rid of one vehicle, so we're not increasing the number of vehicles.
Correct. The van that they were using is no longer serviceable, will be taken out of the fleet. This will replace it. It's not an increase at all.
And the Trailblazer's a smaller vehicle,
Smaller than the van.
less gas?
I would say less gas. You know, the other vehicle was pretty old and barely
Less
running.
gas, no, less repairs, right?
A lot less repairs, yes.
Doesn't it more depend on what they had for lunch? Okay, any other questions from the council? All right, any questions from the public? All right, seeing none, on to item 8.
Item 8 is a resolution authorizing publication for hearing of an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach regarding automatic alarm systems. This item is for publication only. A hearing will be held December 5th at 7 p.m. Item 9 is a resolution authorizing publication for hearing of an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach regarding motor vehicles and traffic. This item is for publication only. A hearing will be held at December 5th at 7 p.m. Item 10 is approval of minutes of prior meeting, November 8th, 2023. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Voting, Councilmember Postoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember McGinnis.
Abstain as I was not present.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President Bendo.
Yes.
Okay, we're going, okay, I'm going
Item
to
1,
try
right?
this again. As the owner of the business for 136 East Park Avenue, have they shown up? Going once, twice?
All right, so why don't we
My-
table that?
My recommendation would be to table and to reschedule the hearing for the next meeting.
So
Do I-
let's table item, I propose to table item 1
And reschedule the hearing for the next
and
meeting?
reschedule for next meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Voting, Councilmember Postoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember McGinnis.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President Bendo.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, on to the voting. So we're going to start with item number 3, which is a resolution authorizing transfer of funds for the 23-24 fiscal year. Would you just move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second?
I will.
Voting. Councilmember Postoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember McGinnis.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President Bendo.
Yes.
Item 4 is a resolution authorizing transfer of funds for the 23-24 fiscal year. Would you just move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second?
I will.
Voting, Councilmember Postoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember McGinnis.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President Bendo.
Yes.
Item 5 is a resolution authorizing budget amendment to the capital project funds budget. Would you just move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second?
I will.
Voting, Councilmember Postoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember McGinnis.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President Bendo.
Yes.
Item 7 is a resolution authorizing the acting city manager to purchase a 2023 Chevrolet Trailblazer Sport utility vehicle for the sewer maintenance department. Would you just move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second?
I will.
Voting, Councilmember Postoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember McGinnis.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President Bendo.
Yes.
Item 8 is a resolution authorizing publication for hearing of an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach regarding automatic alarm systems. Would you just move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second?
I will.
Voting, Councilmember Postoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember McGinnis.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President Bendo.
Yes.
Item 9 is a resolution authorizing publication for hearing of an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach regarding motor vehicles and traffic. Would you just move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second?
I will.
Voting, Councilmember Apostoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember McGinnis.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President Bendo.
Yes.
City Manager's monthly personnel report has been filed by the city clerk. Who will make a motion to close the meeting?
I will.
Second?
I will.
Voting, Councilmember Apostoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember McGinnis.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President Bendo.
Yes. Okay, folks, it's good and welfare time. Just in case it's your first time, you get 3 minutes. And first up is James Hodge.
James Hodge, 95 East Fulton Street in our great city. Joe, from Maple to Nevada, from the bay to the ocean, as always, in our great city. I just wanted to say, I know that 6 was pulled, Youth and Family Services merging into the Recreation Center, but, when an item gets pulled, that means that I just don't think due diligence was given enough before it even got put on the agenda. So I don't know whose decision that is. I think, I would love to hear all of the information and what's involved with why you want to merge it into the Recreation Center. The Youth and Family Services, I know, have been department for, since I've been 12, 13, trying to get a job. They have done so many things. So I would just, love to hear the information about that, but it was pulled off, so I guess there must have been some conversating after the decision to put it on the agenda for it to even be pulled off. Another thing is that, as I've stated before, I think no matter how much time you are in city council or in any position, and even in life, you have a dash from the beginning to the end. And some of the things that's on your dash, you have an opportunity to correct. And I think that this administration putting the Martin Luther King Center in eviction court is something that you can change before the end of the year. If you don't, then I'll just continue asking, and maybe the next administration will. Because no matter who's in those seats, once they're in those seats, they're in those seats. And it is to hold each and every one accountable, no matter what party they are, no matter what part of town they're from. It's to hold them accountable to represent our whole city. It's a small organization that represents many throughout the whole city of Long Beach and do such a diligent job for all of the residents in the city of Long Beach. And I believe that it was a mistake to put the organization in eviction court when I think you could do negotiating outside of court, where it's costing the city and it's costing a small organization funds. I think that, the city should always do whatever they can to work with all organizations in the city of Long Beach. So if it don't happen by the end of the year, I'll be up and speaking to the next administration, which we hope that it can happen before then. To each and every one of you, have a blessed Thanksgiving with your families, your loved ones, in spite of whatever may be going on. Let us just continue to pray for one another. Let us continue to love all of our residents. Let us continue to do what we can to serve all of the residents in the city of Long Beach. Thank you all. God bless.
All right, thanks, James. And we have Councilman-elect Finn.
Good evening. Just want to thank you guys for a couple of informal meetings we've had and the cooperation so far. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Okay. And Brendan, if you could stick around at the end of the meeting, I just need to talk to you for a second. Tim Kramer.
Hi, Tim Kramer, 361 East Broadway. John, help me out with something. So, is it the council's position or authority to appoint or hire the city manager?
Yes.
Okay. So, is it safe to say that you have authority over the city manager?
The city manager does work for the city council ultimately, yes.
Okay. So, why did you fire Joe Miller?
Well, first of all, it's a personnel issue, which we're not going to discuss with you or publicly. So that's a decision. There's a chain of command, and the chain of command made a decision.
Okay, I think that's in poor taste, but in any event, Mr. Walsh, any update on the fuel ring?
Gas boy.
The fuel
Gas boy?
Yeah, the fuel.
Yeah, so that system should be completely up and running before the end of this year, before the end of December. Probably before that, we're replacing the gas pumps next week. Not the, yeah, the pumps themselves next week, huh? Yeah, next Tuesday, and the rings have been installed on more than half the fleet already, and the software is ready to go. So it's moving very nicely.
All right, thank you.
Okay. And the other half of the marriage, Christina Kramer.
Good evening, everybody. My voice is coming back, not fully, but I was not out partying. I had bronchitis. So back in 2017, my husband and I created out of thin air our charity called Waves of Hope, where we collected a bunch of food and equipment and all kinds of things for the victims of Hurricane Harvey. Then right after that, we realized we could be helpful to people, and we then raised money for the victims of the forest fires in California. And Joe Miller, and we have no personal connection to him at all, out of nowhere just popped up and reached out and collected over $1,000 for the victims of the fires in California. So I know you don't want to discuss it with us. We saw it online that he was fired, and I just want to express my disappointment because I think he's a man of impeccable character, and I think that the city is at a loss. And so on a separate matter, Protect Our Coast, Long Island, New York, that's our little group that we have coined and named ourselves. We have been paying our council out of our own pockets, and also by raising money through fundraisers and just asking the community. And our lawyer is doing an impeccable job. Of course, we can't talk about what happens in the Article 7. We're very happy that we have him. We felt very underrepresented by our city council and also the outside council. You're doing a good job. You did a good job this week, by the way. The outside council was underrepresenting the residents' requests and wants and needs. So I'm just wondering if it's possible somehow to either start like a windmill committee or a turbine committee where the lawyer for the city is communicating with the residents, and maybe we can at some point stop paying our lawyer. It's an overwhelming undertaking financially for the people that are running this, and it's really not the responsibility of 10 community members to fight for the entire community out of their own pockets. So I'd like to know if we can start thinking about a remedy to relieve the community members who are supporting this effort and start working together against Equinor and the turbines.
Christine, that does sound like a good idea. And I know I know I have offered out, I really think we should be working together on this. There was something, though, that I was wondering about, and it doesn't look like wind is really going to be the answer. The more I'm reading, these particular turbines are just not going anywhere. You saw the editorial cartoon in Newsday yesterday or today, where it just, the turbine just snapped in half.
Well, there's a lot of reasons. They may or
yeah.
may not go. We might be
Right.
taking a break. It
Right.
might be going full steam ahead.
But one of the things that you have advocated is nuclear. And,
I have.
And so many people are against that.
Mhm.
Maybe you have a reason behind that. You believe that they're safe. A lot of people don't. I would
I'm
ask
not a
for,
nuclear engineer. John is. Go ask him. But go ahead.
but you brought it up.
I do, because I've
Okay.
learned a little about them and their safety and new technology. Yes.
Yeah, so it wouldn't hurt if you educate us a little bit about that. I mean, I looked it up and I find the, overwhelming sentiment is against it.
Right.
But they're talking about smaller nuclear things, and it just,
There's a lot of technology that's not being considered for renewable energy. There's, but I can send you lots of information personally. I think I have your
yeah.
city council email
All right, I don't want to,
address.
don't want to get.
So,
Yeah, we'll
Him,
talk,
man.
that's an interesting idea. We'll talk about it.
we'd
and,
love to have some type of official committee, like the Island Park people have the Island Park Windmill Committee, as ineffective as they are. But we'd like to have our Long Beach Wind Turbine Committee, if there's something we can do on a more official level.
Yeah, so the only concern I would have with, from a legal and ethical consideration is, our attorney can't act as your attorney, right? They can't act as the community's attorney. They have an ethical obligation to represent the city. They have an ethical obligation to keep communications with the city privileged unless the city council decides otherwise. So, and I think you characterize it as, setting up a committee where the attorneys can come, the outside counsel can come and advise. And
Is there ever
you know,
a situation where our lawyer could become co-counsel with that lawyer and kind of come together where they are speaking, to the residents, and then our lawyer would speak with Wagner or whoever is counsel, for the wind turbines, so that they can hear because I think you all know by now, our team is doing a sick amount of research and we really know the project well. So, and we're helping our lawyer to be useful in the Article 7 process, and we could help the city lawyer just the same. We don't want to work against the city. We want to work with the city.
Right. Yeah, from that
But you
point of view.
you can't let us work with you if if you don't want to share anything with us. That's kind of counterproductive.
Right, I'm just saying, the idea that, I'm not sure exactly how you characterize it, but that the attorney would be kind of helping the community and meeting with the community, that's not their role. They're not hired to represent certain members of the community. That's not, it's actually illegal. They work for the city. Can the attorneys work together? I think you probably know this. The attorneys have been working together this week. I've been on calls with your attorney, and we've signed,
So
joint letters,
let us talk about it. We'll figure if we can come up with a model that potentially works, and then
Yeah.
we'll talk.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Okay. And that was it, everyone. I hope everyone has a safe, healthy, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Enjoy the holiday, and we'll
Safe travels.
See you